Welcome into Out of Touch, episode number 11. John Alden, Mitchell Page, Dustin Schutte. If we aren't your best friends by now, then I don't know what you're doing. I hope you all feel the same way. Dustin, I bet you have a lot of friends. I bet you've got like 26 and a half friends. Am I right about that?
You think I have a lot of friends? Is that what you're saying? 26 and a half friends?
You got about 26 and a half friends. Did you catch what I said? Or have you been abducted by aliens like we did before the show started?
Yeah, I think I briefly got abducted by aliens. I think I've been returned now, probably through like wormhole technology. I think I'm good. I don't have a lot of friends, actually. I would say I have more acquaintances than friends. But I'm not, I don't know. I don't know. I keep to myself quite a bit, but I will say that, like, you know the saying, it's better to have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. So, like, the people that I do hang out with, the people that are my friends, are like the best people on earth. So I don't have a lot of those. I don't have a lot of fake friendships. So yeah, I mean, it's not like I have like one friend in the whole world, but I don't have a ton.
I honestly don't even know why I asked the question. I just kind of wanted to dive into something random, and that's what I landed on. I could have asked Mitchell the same thing. I wonder what he would have responded. He had millions of friends because he was the most popular man on campus when he played football.
I think I've told you about me talking trash about myself at bars after games.
Your most self-deprecating human being, I'm assuming?
I remember, I mean, it happened all the time, but to let you know my popularity on campus, I would have games where I would score at least a touchdown, maybe 2. Like I had 14 or so touchdowns, something like that in my 2-year career. That's pretty good. And we'd go to the bars after the games, and it would inevitably end up with me asking if the guy went to the football game. I would obviously never say who I was, and I just get his thoughts on the game. I was just kind of curious. And then when I was done talking to that person, I would always ask what he thought about the wide receivers. And I would say 70% of the time, it would end with them saying something along the lines of, if that little guy, 87, can play, then I can definitely play. And I would typically agree with them and then move on down whatever I was doing. So that's how you need to know, or that's how you know my popularity. It was
what a great way to kind of just sneak around though and figure out who really knows who you actually are.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I probably got recognized once a month. Like, it was very few and far between. And I think it was, like, I make fun of how small I am all the time, and it doesn't bother me. But I think when, like, you see the football players out most of the time, like, that's the football players. They're huge, massive, and typically they run in a pack of 30. Speaking of having all these friends. And I didn't really run like that. I was kind of to myself, and I don't give the aura of the football player. So it was kind of out of context. I had a helmet on all the time. You really had to be a true fan to know what I actually looked like. So it was kind of nice, especially after I had a bad game.
Well, there you go. Well, we're back. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good, hopefully. I'm looking at that camera, and it's way nicer looking than the one that I was using the past, 4 or 5 weeks. And then the episode where I didn't have a camera, period. It looked like I was being recorded on something that was made in the year 2003. And now we've jumped up about 15 years maybe with this camera. It looks a lot clearer, so I'm happy about that. So I fulfilled that promise. I did say during last episode that I was going to have that done. Second thing that I said we were going to do, I set up a hotline for the show, and I'm super excited about it. And I know it works because I tested it this afternoon. And I'll even prove it to you in a minute. But essentially what it is, I will give everybody this number, and all you've got to do is dial the number. It'll send you straight to voicemail, and you can say whatever you want. You can tell them whatever name you want to be. You don't have to be your true self if you don't want to. And in fact, I encourage everybody who is listening to this or watching this that may be interested in leaving us a voicemail, if you want to do that, literally all bets are off. You can do whatever you want. don't get us canceled. Don't say something stupid. I'll obviously listen to these before I air them, but you have the freedom to tell us whatever you want. And there will be times where I'll probably prompt people to, if we're talking about ghost stories, because we talked about that, wanting to do that here in October for Halloween and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do an episode where we want people to share times where they may have encountered that kind of thing. Or maybe we talked about something in the current episode that we want to, other people to react to for the following episode. So I think it could be really fun. I'll go ahead and give that number out now, and I'll give it out a few times probably in this episode. But if you want to leave me, Dustin, or Mitchell, or all of us, or even just give us your deepest, darkest thoughts in the back part of your brain, all you got to do is call 502-830-9195, and you'll be able to leave whatever message you want. 502-830-9195, and I'll put it out on social media. And I want people to use the hell out of this thing, because I think it could be really fun, and I think it could take this show to the next level, because I want to be able to interact with people. And I know we've talked about doing live streams in the future, and we still will probably do some of those, but I think this could be really fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I hope that people use it in the way that we hope that they do. I think that when you have something like that, you can be a little bit nervous that, what I'm going to say is dumb. No, I promise whatever I've said or thought during this show is dumber than any thought you may have. So please, anything you got, or especially when there's a call to action about something we're talking about on the show, would love to hear from you guys.
Plus, we can get some new ideas. Things to talk about.
That's the thing. Like, I think the great thing about the first several episodes is it's giving people a chance to kind of learn about us. I feel like we've talked about a lot of things. I mean, we haven't gone into the deepest, parts of our brain, I don't feel like necessarily, but we've talked about a lot of things that make us uncomfortable, a lot of things that, may make us, things that the normal human beings don't normally like to talk about. It's good content, it's fun, and hopefully you guys want to participate that as well. And again, I said I was going to prove that it works, and I'm going to do that for you right now. This is the test message I sent to myself this afternoon.
Test message for Hotline.
And hopefully that came through fairly clearly. It definitely, you can tell I did it on a phone, but that's all it needed to be, right?
Yeah, that was riveting stuff. I'm really glad you played that.
What'd you think I was going to say just for a test message?
You should have brought up some sort of topic that we could have talked about next. Some sort of weird.
Like I was talking to myself in the future kind of thing, or from the future.
Yeah.
It is a missed opportunity, but now you can do it separately.
Listen, I was just totally focused on making sure it worked. I was worried it wasn't going to work. So initially, there's a setting on here. There's a setting on here where I thought that it was going to have to call my cell phone in order for me to get people to answer and have to hang up on them, that kind of thing. But when I set it on do not disturb mode, which is what it's on, it just automatically sends them to voicemail and it doesn't go to my phone. By the way, that number I gave out is not my personal cell phone number. It's a Google Voice number. So it's a number that translates to your phone. So you're not going to be able to just text me, nude pics or something like that. For those of you, I'm a normal recipient for the nude photos.
I was going to say, is this a problem that you experience in your day-to-day life where people just send you nude photos? Or
when you're in the public eye and people get your phone number, that's what people normally do. They send you the nudes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it doesn't happen to you on Twitter, Dustin, as big of a Twitter star as you've been over the years.
No, that doesn't. I've
Obviously,
received a lot of things. I've received a lot of things on Twitter. That is not one of them.
It's probably for the best.
Well, there you go.
It definitely is.
By the way, I've not had any coffee in the past, probably since 3:00, but I feel like I'm so amped right now. I haven't had this kind of energy recording. Maybe it's because we're recording this close to 9:00 at night, but I feel like I am amped on something fierce right now. I don't know if you can tell.
Well, you just came back from your church gathering.
Oh,
you got the excitement of the Lord.
That's right. Yeah, filled with the Holy Spirit, as they say. I thought you were going to say back from North Carolina, which I was on vacation this past week. Went past the homeland of Charlotte.
Yeah,
if that's where you still live.
that is where I live. Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna go and bring up one thing from that trip. Maybe we can discuss it. So we were staying at a beach house. So it wasn't my family, it was my wife's family. And we were staying at a beach house off of Curry Beach, which is also next to Carolina Beach. They're kind of next to each other and stuff. But at the beach house, I found myself getting really acquainted with the hot tub that was in the back. And I don't know about you guys, but I love hot tubs. But I started to get the sense that I was getting judged for how much I enjoyed being in this hot tub. And there were plenty of times, like I wasn't in there all day, every day, but at least twice a day. Sometimes I was in there for over an hour. And, that's probably not normal. And I wanted to get your all's thoughts on that.
Dustin, take it.
Yeah.
I have a pretty succinct answer to this, but
I'm pretty sure we talked about this when Mitchell wasn't on about hot tubs.
Did we?
And yeah. And
Maybe we did.
look, so there was a lot of people there around you.
Yeah, so there was, how many were there total? I'm not going to try to count up all of them. There was like 12 of us, I believe.
how big is the house?
So
The house was 3 floors, and I don't know. I don't really know what your typical beach house looks like, or like the size of normal ones, but I mean, it was a decent sized house.
Was there enough room that when you were in the hot tub, there wasn't people like just around you?
So there was only one time where there was like a bunch of people in there. That was like the first time that everybody got in there. Most every other excursion into the hot tub was like maybe 4 people max.
Oh, there's other people in there with you too?
Yeah.
Oh, this is, yeah. I was already going to say there's
let me be fair. Like, not every time was there people in there. There were times where I was in by myself, if that's what you're getting at. There were times where I was there by myself.
Yeah, I think so. There's a couple things here.
I love Dustin's silent laugh, by the way. If you're not on YouTube, you can't see his silent laugh. That's what he's doing in the background.
Yeah,
just let Mitchell take this one away, and then I'll weigh in.
Yeah, most importantly, you are already married, so this is essentially your family now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a hot tub right now at your house in Kentucky?
No, I don't.
No. So you're on vacation. You have a hot tub. Somebody's got to use it. It might as well be you. At the current stage, I think you could have stayed in the hot tub 20 hours a day and it wouldn't be weird. Now, whether it's weird to like hot tubs that much is a separate discussion. I don't think it is, but some people may think that's weird. But there's also like certain levels, I think, in a relationship. Like if this is the first time that you're going to your girlfriend's parents' family vacation, if you just spend a bunch of time in the hot tub, that is, first of all, hilarious, but second is a little bit weird. Let me
interject real quick. So it's not my first vacation with like the immediate in-laws, like the mother-in-law, the father-in-law, but this part of the family, huh?
They're the only people that matter.
Yeah, well, so the other people we went with was the father-in-law's brother and then his kids and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that doesn't matter. That they're not even part of the equation. Okay.
No. If I'm putting myself in this situation, I think that it doesn't. If you've gone on a vacation with immediate family, they're the only people you need to impress. If your wife's dad's brother's kid thinks you're weird, okay, well, that affects my life none. So you can think I'm weird, go back to wherever you came from. Doesn't bother me. But getting back to where I was, it's kind of an interesting scale of when this is weird and when it isn't. Because if it's somebody you've just started dating and you aren't really sure where you want it to go, if you really like them and you're not really in the phase of trying to impress the parents. So then I wouldn't care if I was in the hot tub the whole time at that point. Then you get a little bit farther and now you feel like you like her and you're trying to impress the parents. I would probably hold off on being in the hot tub the entire time. Then you get to a little bit farther, your fiance, now you're like last stages, you got to really impress them. So you go above and beyond. You got to like take the trash out instead of being in the hot tub. But then once you're married, all bets off. Like you stay in that hot tub all you want. It doesn't matter. They're like, I'm part of the family now. This is my vacation. I'm going in the hot tub.
Okay, here's my question. Are you going on a vacation with a girl that you don't know? And I shouldn't say that because you can go on a vacation with a girl that you think you're not sure with yet, right? But you're going on a vacation with that girl's family if you're not sure?
To the beach?
That's a good point.
Yeah. Like what? Are they paying for
So
it?
Mitchell's in it for
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on your
I knew
stage
that
of
was
life.
coming.
If you're like a 30-year-old just mooching off of this random person, that looks a little different. But if you're 20, yes, absolutely. My bags are already packed. I'm keeping a bag packed just in case I get asked. Like,
I mean, he
it's
needs
packed
to
24/7.
because all that Wikipedia money he keeps donating, he needs to make that back, doesn't he?
Exactly. I meant to do some research on that. I want to know what's the percentage of users that actually donate to Wikipedia?
I'm just sick of getting every time I go on there, because I get on there fairly regularly. I hate when it's like, oh, have we given you $3 worth of knowledge this year? Please consider donating.
That guy's always asking for money.
They give me like $30,000 worth of information every year, I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna look that up. How many people give to Wikipedia? And where does the
I
money
just
go?
want to say that I think what popped into my head was just the John every day, morning, noon, and night. Anytime there was some sort of pause in the activity portion of the vacation, John was like, well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to go to the hot tub. And just like looking
I've
around.
got to say, I'll let you finish your thought. Go ahead, because you're reading my mind.
No, that's exactly what popped into my head. And for me, I don't have any problems with now for me as a self-conscious person, if there's other people around, I'm probably not getting in the hot tub. If it's just me, if it was just me and Abby going, I would get in the hot tub. If it's anybody else involved, I'm keeping my shirt on. I'm not getting in the hot tub. I'm going to pretend I'm allergic to water. I'm not doing any of it. Now, maybe further down the road at some point, like Mitchell said, then maybe you feel a little bit more comfortable. But other than that, if it's just me or me and one other person, then yes, I would get in.
I've got to say, I was fairly self-conscious on like, okay, I don't want to be like fiending for the hot tub every 30 minutes, but like, cause like I had that kind of self-control at least, but it was at least once a day around lunchtime. And then in the evening, I'm making sure during downtime, like, hey guys, going in the hot tub. You can come with me or you can, do your own thing, but I'm going to the hot tub. So yeah, you read my mind a little bit on that.
I think it says a lot. Like you brought it up. If this were me on that vacation and I went in the hot tub as much as you did, that would never even have been a second thought. I would have enjoyed every second.
Because there were people, and they weren't doing it like they were doing it playfully, I should say. Like, oh, you really like that hot tub, don't you?
Yeah,
and
I do.
Making comments and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I do. I don't have one, and I really want to have one if I could afford one at the house, but I can't.
Did you pour yourself a nice glass of wine and really treat yourself while you're doing this?
I drank a lot of water and Powerade. I didn't drink much out. I'm not a big alcohol drinker.
I was hoping you were going to say Mountain Dew and really just put the capper on this.
That would have been great because one of the stereotypes of the county that I live in Kentucky, Bullitt County, is the stereotypical family is super rich. They drink Mountain Dew and they drive Mustangs or something like that. And I do none of those things, but
that's a weird definition of rich.
It's because it's like country rich. You know what I mean?
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Maybe we'll talk more about Bullitt County someday. Bullitt County is a weird place, man. Maybe I'll get into a little bit right now. Let me go and talk a little bit about, there's 3 high schools in Bullitt County, and they all 3 have their own stereotypes. I went to Bullitt East. There's North Bullitt, and there's Bullitt Central. The stereotype for Bullitt East was you're the snotty rich kids. North Bullitt was, so I get in Bullitt Central and North Bullitt mixed up sometimes, but one of them, I believe it was North Bullitt, they were like the Hicks, the guys who were doing all the country stuff and that kind of thing. Things I'm not good at,
Sounds like you were all
riding a
doing
tractor
country
or whatever.
things.
Do what?
Sounds like you were all doing country things if you were driving Mustangs and drinking Mountain Dew.
Exactly, right. And then Bullet Central, I believe, was the white trash of the that's like, so that part of the county is also, have you ever heard of Narcoland?
Yeah.
So like that show is based off of like that part of not just Bullitt County, but like the I-65 corridor, that kind of thing. I won't get into that, but yeah.
Sounds like you were
Last
all just
week we
kinda
went
doing the
all-
same thing.
Yeah. Last week we went all in on Mississippi. This week we go all in on Bullitt County. I mean, we're just
Did we talk about Mississippi?
disassociating ourselves from as many listeners as we possibly could get. Yeah, because we talked about how late it was until they learned about Santa Claus.
Oh. And I'm not
Hold
talking
on.
trash about Bullitt County. I can say what I want. I live here.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like, it's not like Dustin
I-
rolls in and he's like, John, where the hell do you come from? There must be a nice breed of weirdos from Bullitt County.
You said it, not us.
Anytime you put breed in front of a group of people, it's not going to be a good thing. Where I grew up was in the county. There were 3, I would say, farming schools, and then the big city school, which really wasn't that big of a city, but it was bigger than any place of the other 3 county schools. So I don't know. I don't know that we had different stereotypes. It was a lot of farming, and I don't know how to do any of it.
Yeah. Is it my turn? Do I have to say
Mitchell's
where
like,
I'm
I
from?
went to Garin Catholic and I whooped that ass in football. Let's
Yeah.
move on.
We were
Yeah.
terrible at football.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Most of the time, but I grew up, if you're living in Indiana, in probably the most universally disliked city in the entire state. And I think Dustin knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I
Yeah, I
don't.
do.
So here's what I want you to do. Give me 3 Indiana cities, and I'm going to guess which one it is.
All right. Greenwood, Carmel, and Fort Wayne.
Carmel.
Yeah. I grew up in
Okay.
Carmel.
I've learned enough about that part of Indiana to know, I guess,
Yeah.
from that.
And if you've ever been to Carmel, you know why people don't like it. It's just better. Everything is better there. And the downtown's incredible. The roundabouts are incredible. I would vote for Mayor Jim Brainerd to be the president of the United States. He is an electric factory in many ways. And if you know a little bit about him, you probably have heard some of his discretions and things that he does in the city. But basically what he's done is created a powerhouse. I mean, they just have some of the coolest stuff. If I could just pick up Carmel and move it to the south where it's a little bit warmer, that's where I've always said that I would live there for the rest of my life. So I was very lucky. Carmel was definitely seen as very upper class, and also we were really good at sports. So when we would go into places, we would just know that we were going to beat the crap out of you. So I won a lot of all kinds of games growing up. It's the same school. The women's swimming has won state championship like a zillion years in a row. And they have girls that just go swim in the Olympics and they're juniors in high school. So that's good. And it's so funny. Like, you talk about 3 high schools in the region or in the city, and they all kind of compete. Everyone else around Indianapolis has done that, but Carmel just continues to grow so they can beat everyone. They have like 5,000 or 5,500 kids there. It's awesome.
Isn't Carmel the biggest school in the state?
Ben
I'm
Davis
pretty sure it is.
Ben
Oh, Ben
Davis is a
Davis
little
is-
bigger. I know there's a couple that are a little bigger, but Carmel's definitely up there.
I've got a confession. Up until I was like, I don't know, maybe 23 years old, and I'm 26 now, I thought it was pronounced Carmel. And I'm sure that's how a lot of people who don't know better pronounce it.
There was a really annoying, everybody has these annoying commercials that were self-made. And there was I think it was air conditioning. And it was this guy, the truck would be driving away, and the guy was talking to the person that owned it, and it was Appel air conditioning or something. And the guy would say something like, Appel in Carmel, your go-to air conditioner. And the other guy would say, I always thought it was Apple in Carmel. And that has just stuck with me. That first started airing when I was 3 years old. That's so weird. I haven't thought about that commercial in so long.
It's funny the things that you say that will remind you of, I guess, childhood or whatever. Another thing I want to bring up, unless Dustin, you had any more thoughts on that?
No, I mean, Carmel is seems to be universally hated, but I like it. I've never lived there, but I love going there.
It's awesome.
It's a good place.
Downtown Carmel, it didn't look like that when I was growing up. That's all brand new. There was a downtown, but it wasn't. I mean, it is really cool. There's all kinds of really nice restaurants. It's a great place to hang out. Bring your kids. It's a long strip, super safe. Like just a really good place to hang out, spend a Friday. If anybody listening, I'd recommend that over downtown Indianapolis, Broad Ripple, really anything in the city. I would say downtown Carmel's as good as any of it. Speaking
of downtowns, and then I'm not going to trash Louisville right now like I normally do sometimes when I talk about downtowns. I am going to mention something that happened. The night before we left to go to North Carolina, I was doing the Louisville football post-game show at work, and it got done at 12 o'clock, 12:30 in the morning. And as I'm leaving, pulling out of the parking garage, making a couple of turns, going past 4th Street, which we talked about, I'm at a stoplight right in front of 4th Street, and some dude behind me, I don't even remember if he had his lights on at all, but he did a cute little roll into the back part of my car. Like he didn't crash into me, but he gave me a little love tap. And I proceed to pull over to the side and just get out and look at it. And I don't know if he was going to, but instead of pulling over with me, this dude sees it as an opportunity to just slam on the gas and get the hell out of there because he didn't want to have to deal with potentially me calling the police and writing a stupid little accident report or whatever, however that works. And thankfully, there wasn't any damage. Like I said, he just barely touched the car. But that's the first experience I've ever had where I guess you'd call it a hit and run, even though I wasn't really, like I said, there was no damage to the car. But, just some a-holes trying to get away. And I don't know if they were intoxicated. I can assume they were. I can assume they were doing stupid stuff. But I don't know. Have either of you two ever experienced a hit and run or, a weird accident like that?
I haven't, but that is something that happens a bunch. It's crazy. People just freak out and then speed off because they're afraid of whatever.
So they thought I was going to punch him. I'm the least I'm a very punchable human being, but I'm the last person who's going to punch you.
I take punches. I do not deliver punches.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think the only time I came close was a lady backed into my car when I was in Orlando in the parking lot of a Publix, and she tried to blame it on me. And my car was parked in the parking spot, and she was backing up. So, but it was kind of like what you said, John. There was no damage. So I just got out, looked at it real quick. She was yelling. I'm like, I don't care. There's no damage here. There's a little bit of a scratch. I'm like, I'm not that concerned about it. So let's just move on about our day.
Well, that's all I would have said too, had I realized at the time that there was no damage. I hadn't looked when they sped off, but the fact that they did, I was like, oh, they must have seen that they damaged the back of my car and just don't want to deal with it.
Oh, yeah. Or they just don't have any insurance.
Yeah.
that could be the case too. This gives me another opportunity to bring up the hotline, by the way. 502-830-9195. If you have a story about an accident you've been in, or maybe you're the person that hit me the other night and you want to confess. I highly doubt that person's listening to this show.
That would be stunning.
But I'd be down for
it. I hope they are.
If they listen to this for some reason and they had the guts to call and just be a part of the ridiculousness, I'd commend them for it. But anyway, if you've ever had an experience like that and you have nothing else you want to say, I'm all for the chaos if you don't want to talk about this. But if you want something to say on the hotline, tell us a story about a time either you've been in an accident, you've caused an accident, Again, you don't have to share your name, but tell us something, that'd be worth sharing on the show.
Yeah, but don't be boring.
502-830-9195. I'm going to sound like a telemarketer the more times I repeat that.
No, I love it.
You are.
I love it. What else you got for us, John?
Let's see.
What's on your mind? You've got so much good energy. It's very.
I know.
fun to
Oh,
see.
speaking of good energy, so sports betting is legal in Kentucky now, and I hit my first 2 parlays this past weekend. I had a college football parlay.
Wow.
I hit an NFL parlay, and I profited over $200, and I'm super hyped about it. I kept 50 of it in the the sports betting account to use again, but I withdrew the rest of it. And I already made one purchase with the winnings. So just because it's like fun money. Like you see it. I know we talked about that girl math thing. Like it's one of those things where I pulled it out. I'm like, this is my winnings. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want with this.
Yeah,
So-
that's how it begins. I mean, that was just pure beginner's luck. You've now won, and you're going to be chasing that high for the rest of your life.
Well, let me be fair. Before I hit
I'm
those
with-
2, I missed 6 other parlays from bonus bets. These are all bonus bet parlays. I did 8 of them,
Yeah.
and I
So
hit my
that wasn't
last 2.
profit. That wasn't profit. You got
It
free
is
money
because it was
because you
free
just
money.
signed up.
Yeah, but I didn't put any of that in as my own money.
Yeah, but it was free money because you had just signed up. Now that free money is gone, and you're like, boy, I hit some parlays. Let me put in 5 more. And then they all are plus 10,000. You're like, but I can win $1 million. And
That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm
Indiana
doing.
to score over 15 points against Michigan. And
I do
you
gotta
got
say-
7 ways to do it, and it's just not going to happen.
Is one of my parlays for this weekend is Indiana
You already
to cover
have
34.
parlays. Yeah, see? I mean, what are we talking about? You are completely
Because I'm
ridiculous.
still running off the winnings that I came from. It's one thing. Here's the thing: the money that I win, like as soon as this runs out, then it's no longer my money. The moment I make a deposit from my own bank account, that's when it becomes my money.
No, as soon as it goes into the account, it's fake money again. Trust me. I've been down this road, buddy. I've been
Are you
down
a gambling? Are you a former gambling addict?
I love gambling. I'm the worst gambler there ever was. If there's a game to be played on the golf course, if there's any kind of sports, but like I love it, the thrill of it. I don't do any, like I think the biggest bet I've ever made in like the DraftKings app is probably like $200 or something. That's not true. But
$200.
yeah,
Oh,
You're getting
man.
on me for putting down $25 bonus bets that were given to me for free.
How-
yeah. That's
wait,
what I'm
no,
telling you
we-
is that's how it begins. I used to be a $1 bettor. That's what I'm telling
How
you.
is it possible that Mitchell, who watches his bank account like a hawk, is the one who donates money to Wikipedia and also is betting $200?
Donating
On
your money to
whatever
Wikipedia
app.
is the equivalent of betting. That's the same thing as betting.
No,
You're
it's
betting
not,
that they're
'cause you
going to
get
do
no
something
return.
with that.
It's a guaranteed
And
loss.
That's not that you get knowledge. You get useful
Evidently.
knowledge.
And I think you can write it off as a charitable donation. So
I hope that's true.
Well, here comes to my tax return, $3 minus $3.
hey,
So do
it's
you-
better than minus $0.
Is this something you're going to continue to go with, John? Because see, I don't gamble at all. Zero,
I'm the kind of
zilch,
person,
nada.
I have a lot of, like, I'm very stingy like Mitchell is. And I also, like, I write down where all of my money goes. I don't just sit there and swipe the card and like, oh, I'll figure out whenever, the due date is for the bill or whatever. I know where almost every dollar in my bank account goes. So once I run out, once I miss enough parlays, I'll probably bet here and there, but I'm not gonna, do it every weekend. I don't think.
I promise you will. It's the most fun thing in the world.
He's like, become an addict with me, John.
No,
Get
it is
sucked
so
in.
fun.
Come do
the
this.
games, they take on new meanings. And
They do.
It's not an addiction, but it's like, it just is fun. And some of the most
Isn't it?
hilarious moments of my and Laura's relationship that she wasn't even a part of. She was asleep on the couch, and I was watching the Wednesday night Maction that ends at 12:30 at night, and I need them to kick a field goal and not score a touchdown, and she's asleep, and I'm yelling hysterically, completely silently, so she doesn't wake up, and I'm watching Western Michigan play Toledo for no reason because I have a $5 bet on the line. I only bet the big bets I would take on stuff I actually knew about. So teams I had watched and had confidence in, and I felt good about it, and I would buy points down. It was never like a plus 500 kind of deal that I would take. But the little $5, the reason that I had to stop is it's the little $1, $5 bets. They add up because when you're on Saturday, you're like, oh, I'm only betting $2 here, $3 here, $2 here. And then all of a sudden you've got 50 games that you're betting on and you don't even know what happened. You're just going through. You're like, oh, I kind of like this one. I'll throw $1 on here, throw $1 on that.
That's not me though. I don't want to say
not you
strategic
yet.
because you do what?
It's not you yet. I wasn't that either.
He's correct. It is. If you keep doing it, it will.
It's fun, John.
It will take over your
We'll
life.
see.
Well, maybe
There
not
are
take over
people-
your life.
But again, here let me proceed this. As long as the money that's in there, as long as I don't deposit anymore, I haven't lost anything.
It becomes fake money. You will deposit money in there.
It's gonna become the Starbucks gift card for you, John. You're gonna be like,
Oh,
I'm just
yeah,
gonna put
maybe.
I'm just gonna put $20 in, and then it's free money because it's already in there. So
We'll see. I will update
That's what's
this
gonna
story
happen.
though as it unfolds. I will continue to let you know how the betting journey goes.
I
I
do
don't
love-
think it's going to be a problem. I know me as a human being, and I don't think it will.
you
I
can.
don't think it'll be
you
a
can-
problem. It will never be like a gambling. I don't think it, and I don't wish upon you a gambling addiction. But what I'm telling you is it's very fun. And you start with a little, and then the $1, $2 bets, the games, when you have a $1 bet on the line, the game just completely changes. And it's only $1.
That sounds so. It sounds
so
so
silly.
pointless.
It's so silly, but it is so much more fun. You have something to cheer for. It just isn't. It's basically paying $1 to watch the game, but you can't I'm telling you, just.
At least
Just
I'm
what-
learning now more so why Mitchell donates to Wikipedia. I feel like these two things coincide a lot more than they actually should.
I just think that somebody's got to give to Wikipedia.
Can you take me through the last time you actually did it and your thought process, like why you ultimately decided to do that?
I hadn't in a while, and the banner comes up every time. I'm like, oh, what's $3? I'll get it to them. They
I
need
can't
it.
tell if this is a bit or if you actually do it. Part of me is like he's just rolling with the fact that he's going
I
to
can
be this
pull it up.
Wikipedia
I think
donor.
I think
You
they
have
do,
your
like,
receipts like Deion
history.
Sanders.
donations. I think I would have to look that up. Give me a sec here. Move on, and then I'll see if I can find the.
Is it one of those things? I bet it's one of those things where, like, after you've donated a certain amount to Wikipedia, they send you like a T-shirt with like the little logo on it, the little puzzle logo.
2% of readers give. That's what Wikipedia says.
So you're in that 2%.
I'm one of them.
I feel like that's a lot of people. 2%.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
not as weird as you think.
Yeah, because I feel like everybody who uses the internet gets on Wikipedia, I don't know, at least once a week. That'd be my,
Once
at the
a
very
week?
minimum. I'm saying the bare minimum. And I'm talking about everybody, every age group, elderly, young, whatever. Everybody gets on Wikipedia at least once a week. So if you consider everybody, or at least a good majority of the people in the world who have internet, and then you take 2%, I don't know what that number would be, but I'm sure it's a lot higher than anybody would guess.
Yeah. I
So there
agree.
you
That's
go.
how
But
they're
you-
able to provide information.
You are the first person who has openly admitted, though, to us.
Yeah, some people, they're embarrassed, whatever. I don't know why you'd be embarrassed. Just be who you are. Be a giving, helping person, and that's okay. You can do that. Like, they have Wiki University. Do you know that they have like 1,000 or 2,000 classes you can take through Wikipedia?
No.
I did not know that.
Oh man, yeah.
Classes,
It's not like
what would you
full
take a
classes
class
full.
on?
I don't know. I just saw this. I'm on Wikiversity right now.
I feel like Mitchell secretly is an employee of Wikipedia, if there even is such a thing.
I wish. So at least
You
I
drop
could give my money to
everything.
myself.
That's right. It's just a manual. It's an employee donation that gets you, I don't know. It's like you said, it's tax deductible, that kind of thing, right?
It is tax deductible. You can get all kinds of books on here. They have PDFs of books. This is a lot more than just your Wikipedia page on Frankenstein. Like, I'm telling you, you can get a book about how to build a car. There's astronomy. Somebody's got to pay for this, John.
That's right. Somebody does.
You're welcome.
Mitchell's doing his part. I'm
One
going
more
to
thing
see
before-
Frankenstein
Oh, go ahead.
in theaters. I'm going to go see Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein with my friend in whenever this drops. A Monday,
It'll be
next
tomorrow.
Monday? Nope.
This
That's
drops
not
tomorrow.
Oh.
As in,
Well,
if
listen,
you're watching this, it's Wednesday. We're recording this on Tuesday night.
Okay, so we're going the 23rd, and it's like a thing where it's a double feature, and it's I think Flicks in Carmel. Is
Place
that
is
what, do you know,
sweet.
Mitchell? Yeah, I think that's where it's at. So I'm looking forward to it. It's like a little Halloween, not a horror movie, but like a classic monster movie. Movies, plural.
I can't remember
excited.
what this lady spilled, but last time I was there, the lady next to me spilled her drink all over herself. Like
I don't know why
everywhere.
that's funny. The image in my head just made me spit laugh.
It went everywhere. It could not. I mean, it must have been the worst movie experience of her life because they're leather seats. So it was
Just
it never went
puddles.
away. Yeah, it's just all
Yeah.
that.
I tell you, I love how movie theaters nowadays have like the heated seats and you can recline and that kind of thing. I don't know. I think that's just happened since post-COVID, right? At least for majority of movie theaters.
That must be in Bullet East only.
It must be, yeah, in Kentucky where we're 15 years behind everything else.
No, we don't have that. I've never heard of that.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that was like been the norm for your whole life, and I was just
No, that's the
Just now
rich kids of
coming around
Bullet
to that.
East.
That's right. The Eastern Bullitt County, Mount Washington. Dustin, one more thing, because I know we got to wrap this one up a little earlier than normal. Mitchell's got a work call with somebody out in California. California. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm really going off the wall now. Dustin, your trip to Louisville at the Louisville Zoo, how was it?
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. The zoo is good. Look, there's a penguin cove. You get to get real nice and close to the penguins. We saw a grizzly bear feeding. That was pretty cool. They have a polar bear. We saw a tiger walking around pacing. It was a good zoo. I think that's better than the Indianapolis Zoo, to be quite
Wow.
honest.
I haven't been to very
I've
many
been-
zoos, but I just always assumed that the Louisville Zoo was, bottom tier compared to other cities.
I would rank, so I've been to like 3 zoos in the last 4 or 5 months. I would rank St. Louis Zoo number 1, Louisville Zoo 2, Indianapolis Zoo 3.
Well, there you go. Dustin's zoo rankings as we get this episode of Out of Touch.
That's another.
I can update. I was going to say I can update this as I go to more zoos.
There
Yeah,
we
and
go.
that's another
My
reason for people to
gambling
call.
problem that's not really a problem, and Dustin's journey through all the zoos. So let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Again, I'm going to remind you one more time, hit up the Out of Touch hotline, which is 502-830-9195, and give us whatever you want. Give us your real name. Give us your fake name. Give us whatever story you want to tell us, because I really think this could be fun. And even if you know who I am and you're hesitant to call him because you know who I am or Dustin or Mitchell, like I said, you don't have to conceal your identity. This is going to be fun, and it's going to be, I want it to be, a main part of the show, as you can tell.
My
I'm
friends-
excited about it.
My friends have no problem with announcing themselves as to who
Bring
they
it
are.
on.
Or
I'm
calling
excited
in,
to
so
hear
I can
your
promise
friends.
we'll have some good content. I promise.
Well, I'm excited. Mitchell, enjoy your work call, okay?
I always do.
There you go. This has been Out of Touch. We'll talk to you next week.